I want to go over that problem about Noah riding in the boat along the river that was in the book. So it says Noah likes to go for a boat ride along a river with his family. In still water, the boat travels about 8 kilometers per hour. In the river, it takes them the same amount of time, t, to go 5 kilometers upstream as it does to travel downstream 10 kilometers. So if the speed of the river is r, write an expression for the time it takes to travel 5 kilometers upstream and an expression for the time it takes to travel 10 kilometers downstream. Use your expression to calculate the speed of the river. Explain or show your reasoning. All right, well, I'm going to start with a little sketch. So here is a bird's eye view of the river. Here's my boat. Nice boat. My boat is going this direction, and it is going 8 kilometers per hour. And the river, in this case, is going this way, r kilometers per hour. So if you're standing on the side of the river, watching this boat go by, it appears that the boat is really moving 8 minus r kilometers per hour. If the boat, on the other hand, is going downstream, then the boat is facing this direction. Here's my boat. My boat is still going 8 kilometers per hour. The river is still going r kilometers per hour. But now when you're watching, it looks like it's going 8 plus r kilometers per hour. So the first part of this said, write an expression for the time it takes to travel 5 kilometers upstream and one for it traveling 10 kilometers downstream. Well, we know in general that the speed, I want to use a different color here, the speed is equal to the distance it goes divided by the time it took. So I want to find time, so I can rewrite this as the time it takes is equal to the distance divided by the speed. So in the first case here, I have that the time it takes to go 5 kilometers upstream, is 5 divided by 8 minus r. And the time it takes to go downstream is this distance 10 divided by 8 plus r. And so we've answered the first question here, which was to write expressions for the time it takes to go 5 kilometers upstream and the time it takes to go 10 kilometers downstream. So then it asks us to use our expressions to calculate the speed of the river. Well, the speed of the time it takes is the same in both cases, so I can set these two things equal. So I have that 5 over 8 minus r is equal to 10 over 8 plus r. And since I have two proportions here, I could do what many of you like to call cross multiply, but I don't really like that term, and so I'm going to do this a slightly different way. I am going to multiply both sides by 1, and on the left side I'm going to make 1 look like this: 8 minus r over, 8 plus r over 8 plus r. And on the right side, I'm going to make 1 look like this: 8 minus r over 8 minus r. Now, why did I choose these two ways of writing 1? Well, now in the denominator, I have a common denominator. And with that common denominator, I can now say, well, if the denominators are equal, then the things in the numerators must be equal. And so I can just say that 8 plus r, that's an r, times 5 is equal to 10 times 8 minus r. And we just need to concern ourselves with, are there any restrictions on r? And of course we know that r cannot be equal to 8, because if it were, this would be 0, and r cannot be equal to negative 8, because that would make this 0. But otherwise, r can be any real number. And so now I just need to solve this for r. And I'm going to do it first by dividing both sides by 5. You could distribute, but I think it's easier if we divide by 5. And so we have on the left side 8 plus r. And on the right side, 10 divided by 5 is 2 times 8 minus r. And keep losing my equations here. And so now I need to get r's on one side and everything else on the other. So the first thing I need to do is distribute this 2. And I have 16 minus 2r is equal to 8 plus r. And to get everything on one side, I will take away 8 here, and take away 8 here, and add 2r, and add 2r. And so on the left side, I have 0 plus 3r is equal to 8 plus 0. And if I just divide both sides by 3, I get my final answer of r is equal to 8 over 3. And the units there are kilometers per hour.